Alright, it is 9:24 a.m., 6 minutes till the market open. Oh, I just noticed it's a very funny day. Maybe that's why some of the weed stocks are barely up today. It's 4/20/21. Not as funny as last year, 4/20/2020, but I'm on less sleep than yesterday because I had to do a whole bunch of things, and I woke up around 5:30 and I had to go outside and do something. So let me tell you what, my sleep isn't that good, but I have more energy than yesterday. I'm not going to be a slack off or a jack off or whatever you want to call it. You know, I'll be happy if I see a potential number 5 setup. And I don't even know if we'll still have number 5 setups. These things might be oversold, but I'll be happy if we see a number 5 setup. Good people on the bid, good green blocks of buy action, a small amount of people on the ask, or maybe they're being taken out. Just some kind of a good potential reversal. It just has to be a potential reversal. Don't have a genie ball. I can't tell if it's a stutter step or not, if it's going to bounce from here, or if it's going to bounce a little, if it's going to bounce a lot, if it's going to be a fake turn. Doesn't matter. If it doesn't work out, I just cut losses quickly. Now, if I try cutting losses quickly and the brokerage is executing my trade very slowly, that's too bad. But in theory, that's how you do it. So, and also the executions could be absolutely great. It just it depends on a whole bunch of things. So it's just going to be number 5 setups at the moment, even though these stocks are a bit oversold. LTNC at least is trying to do some kind of an uptrend, right? And I have to be quick. Now, maybe in another market, I can wait for the first green candle just to see if it holds, or maybe even the second. But like I said yesterday, when the first green candle is basically half the move, which is give or take 10%, I can't afford to do that anymore. Again, HMBL, 2 basically big green candles was the majority of the spike right there. I can't miss it. ADHC surprises me because it's still uptrending. I don't know. This is pretty impressive, but it's trading more volume than this day right here. But man, this is definitely a pump and dump. I'll tell you what. DSCR, I'm also watching. I don't like the volume too much, but this could be a number 5 in theory. Again, it's going to be number 5 setups. If I miss a trade today, it better be a good reason, like a really good reason. Otherwise, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try. If I pick 1 out of the 4 and it just doesn't work well, and the other 3 did, that's fine. At least I tried. But I'm just not going to, at least try not to be like yesterday. It's just, maybe I'm a bit hard on myself, but that's just what I have to do. I just have to keep getting better. And we have 3 minutes till the market open. Okay, it's 9:36 a.m. I did try HMBL. I wanted to do 2 trades. It's just a small $6 profit, and it didn't go exactly the way I wanted, but I don't regret it at all. 9:31, so I bought right here in this red candle. It looked like it was actually going to hold this 140 level right here. It did a pretty good job trying to hold it, but then it actually broke through. It looks like I was just 1 candle off from the very bottom, but when we got to this candle, it was smaller than this one, and it looked like it was trying to hold. The level 2 was looking nicer. There were more people on the bid, less people on the ask, so I tried to buy at 138. That was my limit price, so I was trying to get in at like 136, 135. I did not get executed. The order sat there for a good 15 seconds, I think, and then I removed it because it started the spike. So the next candle, it started the spike. Again, I just tried, but I just didn't get executed. I can't regret that at all. And I was going to trade large just because it looked even better. And then I sold all of them. Just a quick get out quickly at 9:33.42 because again we were having that big, like I said, we've seen big excessive spikes. So the first green candle, really big, excessive, sometimes have to move. So just wanted to sell into that. Also didn't like the fact that I didn't get executed in the 130s. So a very small position size. I think that's a $300 position. So it's not like I was trading a lot. Let's just see how much. Yeah, it was a very small size. I got filled at 41. It was a $400 position, very tiny. I could have considered it right here for a slow number 5, but this is a bit too quick in my opinion. And on top of that, because this is just so sold off in the pattern, they might not really care that much about holding it so much, so maybe not enough to spike it all the way back to the 160s or have it go green on the day, which has been very common recently. None of that. It looks like LTNC might try a downtrend. I'll be watching that. ADHC had a 1 candle drop. I wanted to bought this, but very impressive spike though from, what is this, 26 to 33. That's pretty good. DSCR just uptrended off to start. It broke past this 15 previous wick right here. That was the high, so that's pretty impressive. I'll be watching. LTNC for a potential drop. I definitely feel a bit better, but I guess that's how you get better, right? You learn from your pain more than you do from your gains. So again, I'll be watching LTNC. Yeah, did I mention I don't have much sleep? It doesn't matter though. I'll make an update later. Alright, it's 9:44 a.m. In theory, I would be considering a buy here, risking it off the day low at 33. This is a higher low after the number 5 setup, but the problem is that this thing is just sold off into the, when you look at a 200-day chart, this looks horrible. But I know this thing has a great chance of doing it. 135, at least as of now, is holding pretty well. If I continue to see that this slow number 5 setup, or whatever you want to call it, I call it the slow number 5, or the higher low off the number 5 setup, if I can see these things be consistent on stocks that have been sold off in the daily charts, I will consider trading it. But as of now, I'm only considering this setup on the stock that is still way up at its high. So if this stock was still at like 350, that would be something better for me to consider. But we'll see. I could have in theory bought at 38 or something like that. No more than that. If it does like a gradual uptrend or something till maybe around 12 or 11ish, sometimes they seem to drop off after that consistently on these types of stocks that are sold out so much. That'll be great. That's a new pattern that I can get into. It's similar to morning panics. A little risky because it could always break the day high. That would be kind of hard to sell your position into, but that could definitely be a setup. It's approaching VWAP right now at 142. So far it seems to be working, although I would have liked it to have been a more gradual uptrend. Again, I'm just looking to see if this is some kind of an edge I can get into. Right now it seems like it is when it's higher up in the pattern, but when it's low like this one, I don't know how well they do. Maybe it's like a 50-50 shot, while the ones that are still up in their highs is like a 60 or 70, maybe 80%. It's going to be kind of hard, but it seems like it's potentially one of these as well. 9:32, 9:44, so roughly 10 minutes later. Just going to have to take these things into consideration to see if it works or not. More often than not, it looks like it had an uptrend. I didn't like how quick it was, but now it's at 138. We'll see. I mean, it could put up a higher low from here, or it doesn't. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not in the trade, but I do want to learn from this pattern if it's something I can trade consistently. Okay, it's 10:24 a.m. The OTCs, they look kind of dead, so I haven't made any trades since. LTNC, it is doing a bit of an uptrend. I mean, I guess from 47, if you wanted to just call the bottom, big volume spike there to 49, I guess 50. Good job. Almost a 10% move. Barely movement here. Not much volatility, although it did do something. HMBL did a triple bottom, I guess you can call it. If it was a inverse head and shoulders, I would have considered a buy perhaps, but yeah, it didn't do too much. I mean, 134 to 144, that's 10 pennies. Not the best. I like the dip buy that I did. It was a great attempt here. It looked like it was going to reverse it in. I went ahead and bought, or at least try to buy more. 138 was my limit. It just didn't get executed. The order sat there and it was below that limit price for a good while. It just didn't work out. I canceled the order. Oh, and I forgot, when I bought here initially, I think I tried to cancel the order too because I didn't like the price action anymore. And when I canceled the order, it changed to filled, so it was filled, and I tried to get out, but that's fine. I don't mind it too much because it was starting to hold itself there. I would have cut losses if this thing was showing more signs of it dropping, if it was just continuously downtrending more and more and more, if it just looked really bad. But because it seems like it was starting to hold again after it briefly touched 133, that's when I wanted to buy even more shares, get a better average, just a little difference. Again, it wouldn't have mattered too much. It would have been just a larger position size. And then I sold into the same candle here, I believe, because again, the first green candle after a reversal, it just seems to be very big. I mean, the range here is what, 133 to 147, so this move right here was pretty much the entire move in one candle. I had a wick there, but again, that just shows the way the markets are. ADHC is starting to look more like the stock I've recognized, just something that keeps downtrending, although it's providing some dip buy opportunities, but I don't like it. GVSI looks like a double top. It could break out, but it's not doing it right now. DSCR just looking a little sketchy, but hey, this could be a nice number 5 setup at some point. I'm not going to be interested in this with HMBL unless it drops like massively, which I don't think it will do, but it will be a watch. No setups right now. I'll keep looking. Yeah, I feel much better because I tried that with HMBL. Best case scenario, you know, I would have been executed more 500 shares at 137-ish or something like that. That would have been a lot more profitable. That's totally fine. It could have been much better. Could have been much worse. I didn't miss out. I didn't miss a trade for whatever reason. Just cut losses quickly if it doesn't work out. In this case, it looked like it was still trying to hold here, and I was not really in a large position anyway, so I went ahead and tried to buy more here. It worked out just a little bit, just a bit sold off. Yesterday was much better, but yeah, I'm just gonna call it off right here. I'll see if there's any more setups. I'll keep looking. Okay, it's 11:26. I haven't been looking at the markets too much, but I'm just gonna review everything and just call it off for today. LTNC, nothing I wanted to trade. Sure, it bounced, but this was too gradual. They didn't want this. I wanted a nice, you know, thick drop like this with HMBL. Wow, it looks like it dropped more here. Maybe I would have considered an inverse head and shoulders at, give or take, this 115 level. Wouldn't have bought here, wouldn't have bought here. Definitely inverse head and shoulders. It looked like maybe the volume was starting to fade too. That's a nice setup. I did miss that one. I could have traded that, but I missed it because I wasn't there. I didn't miss it because I was just being a slouch who was too scared of cutting losses quickly, just not having the right mindset. LTNC, again, just nothing I wanted to trade. HMBL, did that trade here. I bought right here. Wanted to buy more in this candle, sold into this candle. It did spike as high as 47, which is just what, 5 pennies, 2 pennies from the very top. So of the candle I sold in, just not the best number 5 setup. ADHC, let the downtrend continue. Never traded this. Had I been set up, maybe able to, would have considered shorting. I don't know if this is shortable here. I guess it's shortable because I think if it's not shortable, it's in red. I'll check. I'll make a small update right after this and see if it's shortable or not on Schwab, because I am considering opening another account here to short stocks, because it's not like Cobra that's super expensive to short stocks or high account minimums. They don't seem to charge much. You can buy and sell OTCs. Buy and sell OTCs, not OTCs. And GVSI, I guess it's continuing an uptrend, but I wouldn't have traded this. It's a bit sketchy. DSCR, probably would have considered this one even less, but it's not bad. I guess it holds VWAP. So yeah, I'm going to call it off. Overall, just one trade here. Missed out on this. Would have definitely bought the inverse head and shoulders here, but I'm happy that I tried the trade here. You know, just I just have to get better. I just cannot be missing trades like I did before. You know, on Thursday it wasn't that bad because I had the wrong mindset. I was expecting stutter steps when you never know if they're going to do it or not. But yesterday was pretty bad. I got today a lot better. Made up for yesterday, ideally. Missed out on this just because I wasn't there again, but would have considered it too. I'm going to call things off. I'm going to see if ADHD is, in theory, shortable here at Schwab, at least the way I'm going to check. Otherwise, it was a good trading day. Okay, so I checked 11:30. RGBP is shortable. It is definitely shortable. They have plenty of shares available to short. LTNC, limited shares, which means I can short because I trade small positions, but maybe you know, if I had a larger account in the future or if never, doesn't matter. Just in theory, it is shortable, but maybe not if you want to trade a lot of size. And no, actually no, ADHD does not. There's no shares available to short on Schwab, but the fact that they have LTNC and, you know, like RGBP, it's just really cool. I'll check one more. HMBL. I just don't like checking here because it shows my account number and stuff like that. I'm just too lazy. I don't want to try censoring everything, but I'll come back with an update just to see if in theory it could short HMBL. It's not like I want to, but definitely these things are just continuously having morning panics almost every single day that you could be short into. A lot of them try to recapture its losses at the end of the day, and then it has a morning panic again. So it seems like a good afternoon short. These are sketchy, bad OTC stocks, so fundamentally, overall, it is better to be short, but of course you can definitely get stuck in a gap up. Doesn't happen too much anymore, but it's definitely going to be something that you have to take into consideration. I'll just make one more update and see if HMBL is shortable. Alright, I'm just going to call it off right here, 11:32 a.m. Yes, HMBL is shortable, just limited amounts of shares. How much is limited? 100, 1,000, 10,000 shares? I don't know, but it is shortable. I guess it's kind of like Interactive Brokers, first come, first serve maybe. But very impressive. Again, I'm going to look towards opening a margin account with Charles Schwab to be shorting these type of setups. I have to do more than just morning panics. I have to learn. A little scared buying them on their first green day. These didn't look too nice, and they're already kind of running up from a previous movement. So yeah, I'm just going to call it off right here. We'll be looking forward to potentially shorting these things in the future. HMBL, one trade, good trade attempt. Was much better today than yesterday.